having a little fun. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. That's what we do. With the E85. Alright, so cruising along at 85 miles per hour in regular, not even sport mode. Probably give it a little bit of fuel right here and see what happens. About quarter throttle. Pretty fun car. It's really easy to drive really fast in this car. Even compared to some of the faster cars I've had, this guy can get up like in no time. Oh, look at this little guy like passing somebody. Hey dude, passing the Infinity. I don't see any cops on Waze. Might be fun to go crazy. Pretty fun. I never drive like this, by the way. This is rare. Like back in the old days I did, but I just kind of feel like, you know, there's probably no cops because I can see them on Waze, and there's a nice open road. My exit's 2 miles away. I feel like I can punch it a couple of times. Speed limit's 70. This I-95 north, past north of Jacksonville. Past the airport. This dude in the Kia is about to get it. He's doing, you know, 85-ish. Got a little bit of room here. Punch it. Like 115. Kind of scared to go any faster than that, like without some room. My exit's here about a mile away, so I'm gonna back off this time. All right, so exited with no drama. It's like quarter throttle. Got to speed quickly. Keep it right there. Hey guys, Supercar Street Racing channel, welcome back. Brad here, and today we are taking a look at super long hair. It's getting out of control. Gonna have to get this haircut soon. But hey, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about switches. So these are standard switches that you would find inside of your house. And I wanted to kind of show you the differences in the different types of switches. And we're not going to go too far into the more complicated wiring of the switches, but I want you guys to be able to at least install a standard switch or understand how a standard switch works. Now, so there are obviously multiple types of switches out there on the market to accomplish different things. The most basic switch that you guys are familiar with is a standard switch that is not a three-way switch. Single pole, single throw, I think is what it's called. It literally has two screw terminals on the side. This is one in the Cora style. You can get them in obviously dimmer styles here. This is also just a single switch. And it's got, for the black wire, it's got two terminals on the side. So you would feed the neutral wire up to the light in the ceiling, and then the black wire is what breaks the circuit here. And so here we have a standard rocker style Cora plug. Here we have a dimmer style Cora but notice it doesn't have a switch. So this guy is switched by flicking that dude down in that direction. And then just 2 wires. The ground looks like it has been eliminated from this. I mean, if your house doesn't have a ground system, there's no reason to ground the switch. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So this has been deleted. This guy here is a 3-way switch. This is a Lutron LGCL153PL. You can tell it's a 3-way switch when you look on the back, because it's got 3 wires. Check out the 3 wires. It's a 3-way dimmer with a activation switch. Here's another 3-way switch. Notice it has 3 wires plus the ground. This one is also a dimmer with a rocker panel activation switch. This is the same as this guy. I have 2 of those. These are 3-way switches. Let's talk a little bit about what a 3-way switch does. So a 3-way switch allows you to control a light from multiple locations. So you would have one of these, say, at the top of the stairs, and a second one at the bottom of the stairs. And then you have the complicated wiring, and also sometimes one has to be on while the other one has to be off. Like, it makes it difficult. Now with smart switches, all that is not even necessary anymore. With a smart switch system, you can have the same type of switches on both sides. It doesn't matter like which one you turn off or on, because they both will turn off or on. You can just say, turn the stairs on, and it can switch both of them on. No big deal. Like, it makes it so much easier. It can control 3-way switches, it can control single switches, it can do all that stuff. So, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the different types of switches now in this graphic coming up.
So for this next shot, I have another nitro cartridge.
He had Bubba down on the ground like
every day.
Really? Bubba, you gonna stand for that? 6 o'clock in the morning. My sleep schedule's so wacky. It's like, just don't sleep a whole lot. But I'm headed to the gym. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get this over with today so I can enjoy the rest of the Saturday. But yeah, 6 o'clock this morning. Saturday morning, wide awake. Gotta make my energy drink though first, guys. Out here, going to the gym. Don't want to rip the car too hard, it's not even warmed up yet. But I will up here when we get it a little bit warmer. So yeah, the car's going into Sam's Automotive. I hope to do like a little video of those guys, because I really enjoyed going over there and meeting them, and they checked the car out to see there's a slight oil leak. I actually have 2. There's a slight oil leak on the back of the valve cover gasket. Valve cover gasket's leaking in the back of the valve cover, and also the oil pan gasket is slightly leaking. Like, we're talking, it might do a drop over a month's period, but yeah, so those guys are getting replaced. Well, just the valve cover this time, because it's super expensive. It's about a 6-hour job, and they don't sell just the they sell the gasket, but you don't ever want to do just the gasket. You want to do the valve cover as well, because it has an integral PCV valve that fails, which I already hacked my PCV valve together. So he's doing valve cover gasket, and while you're in there, it's free labor to do coils and spark plugs. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the coils and spark plugs replaced. And that's on March the 2nd, man. So like a $1,500 purchase for this car. All right, guys, just leaving the gym, workout for Saturday morning. Gonna go home and cook some healthy fake eggs momentarily. God.
With him on the bench. Now he's in the truck close to center.
Got him on the ground, dude. Oh, Bubba's like, really? Look at Bubba came back for more.
Exactly.
I think Bubba digs like the playtime. Oh! Cooper ran. Bubba, did you dominate? No, they just play. Oh, let's go on YouTube, bro. We're YouTube famous.
That's what the guys think we're doing.
Everybody's gonna be like on the next video, where's Cooper and Bubba? Alright guys, so I decided just instead of putting a graphic up to do some shopping with you guys and show you some of these switches that are available. And so let's just go for electrical switch. Let's see what pops up here. Okay, so here's a first good example of a regular standard electrical switch. Now, notice it says single pole, so it has just one screw on two screws on one side, and then your ground screw, so your hot wire goes here. Hot wire in, hot wire out, and that goes up to your light box in the ceiling, or even to a receptacle if you want it to be switched by this switch. Now, these are the old school type of switches, these old small off-on guys. Now if we go further down here, here is a Decora switch with a rocker plate. And notice, let's see. Yeah, this is just a single pole as well. So this works just fine for just turning a light switch off and on. If we flip over here to three-way, here's the same version of this switch, but it is a three-way version, allowing you to turn this light on from two different locations. So we'll have more wires in the back in order to do that. These are all contractor packs here, so they come with a ton of them. If you wanted to change out all your switches in your house, you could do it with just a contractor pack. And then here we got some more single pole stuff. We got a push button style here. Some more of the Decora stuff. Some toggle switches that have nothing to do with electrical. Here we have a three-way single pole dimmer. So this is actually, if you notice the wiring on the back, this is for doing dimming from two different locations for the same light. Notice the wiring here. So that's a three-way dimmer with a little toggle. Now let's take a look at some dimmers. Electrical dimmer. Alright guys, so here we got a smart dimmer. Now notice this is a Casa smart dimmer. Notice it says needs neutral wire. Most of these smart switches need a neutral wire to function properly. However, there is one type that does not, and it is a, I believe Lutron Casita has one, and I do have one on my pool light because my pool light does not have a neutral wire, and it works just fine without it. And there's just enough current in that hot wire to make that work without neutral. It's really cool how they made it work. But this is a regular Casa smart switch that works with Alexa and other smart devices. And it shows you a wiring diagram on the back. And this guy probably uses their app to interface. I think I have a Casa in here somewhere. Most likely it uses their app. If it doesn't use their own proprietary app, then it uses Smart Life to connect. So here's another type of dimmer. That's another three-way dimmer switch with a toggle off and on, so you can set it to whatever manual light level you want, and then you just toggle it off and on. This is Z-Wave, so that's a different type of
technology for doing smart switches. It needs a hub. Here's a Lutron Diva LED dimmer. So this is designed specifically for LEDs so that they don't flicker, but a lot of times it really has more to do with the bulb and less to do with the switch. Here's another dimmer, 3-way LED dimmer that we can see here. And here's your Lutron Casita wireless, which I have some of these in the house. They work great. Some other smart Wi-Fi dimmers here as well. So as you can see, here's just a regular dimmer switch, single pole or 3-way Lutron with a rocker. So you set it at one level, you click the switch off or on to turn it off and on. Here's an old school rotating dimmer. You don't see those much anymore. Yeah, so you know, if you need assistance with, oh, here's one that does fans and lights. If you need assistance with figuring out a switch to put in your house to replace your existing switch, my suggestion is to open the wall plate, see if it has 2 wires and they're both black, and then a ground, then that's your single pole. If you've got more wires than that, you're running a 3-way. In other words, if you have another switch that you can control the same light with, that's a 3-way. So appreciate you guys checking out this little shopping trip here, and I'll put links in the description.
All right, guys, thanks for checking out that little graphic about the different types of switches that we have and what they do. And now I'm going to show you guys how to actually wire up a standard single switch. This goes from the wall right there right up to one single light bulb, and then that's it. So remember I told you guys it has 2 wires here. So this isn't going to be a complete demonstration because I don't have the rest of the wiring from the box. But one of your black wires here, the non-neutral wire, is going to connect to one of your terminals on the side of the switch. Remember I told you guys in the last video, you got your workman pliers here. Got your workman pliers. You strip back the end of the wire with your wire strippers or your workman pliers. Strip back like 1/4 of an inch. Take your workman pliers, bend a nice little loop like that in the guy. That guy's ready. You got your switch right here. Doesn't matter which screw it goes on. Only thing that matters is whether you want your switch to be on when it's indented here or whether it's indented there. That would be the difference in where you flip the switch over and orient it. Remember what I told you guys, it always goes in the direction of the screw. So the screw is obviously, this one is going to be clockwise. So we take that guy there and we wrap it around that screw there. Get our standard Phillips head screwdriver, tighten that dude up till it's tight. Once it's tight, make another turn. Just like that, ready to go. So now you're gonna say, well, what do we do with these other 2 wires? Okay, so the neutral wire here, the white wire, goes to the neutral bundle inside of your electrical box. It uses wiring nuts, which are right here. We got wiring nuts in here somewhere. We did have wiring nuts in here. So it's just a standard wiring nut that connects all there's some right there. There's some wiring nuts, drop something. So those neutral wires all connect together in your electrical box. The ground, super easy. So I took my workman's pliers here and I bent the loop there. Now the ground on the switch has a little guard to keep it from coming out. Throw that guy in there. Use your standard screwdriver and you put pressure on that with your thumb and tighten that up and then give it a good extra turn. So you've got this. Now the other hot wire, the other black wire here goes up to the switch. All right, so you're gonna have at the light in your ceiling or lamp or receptacle, you have a neutral wire up there, and then you have this coming out of this switch here. There is going to be a black hot wire running up to your ceiling box for your light. So that would go to this bottom screw right here. So take the wire that runs up to your light box and hook it to that bottom screw, and then tighten that down with your screwdriver here. Remember what I told you guys in the last video? Always take your electrical tape, which I have some right here. And now, of course, this is sticking out of your wall box now with all the wires connected. Take your electrical tape and run that guy. Take your electrical tape and run it around, probably easier starting on this side, the exterior where your screws are. This will save you some heartache when you turn the power on if you happen to have a short, and it will look a little something like that when you're done. You can match the wire down, and now this guy is ready to go back into your standard